What's going on, guys? It's 7:30 on the dot. It's Tuesday night. And I had to ask for today off because how else am I supposed to do these things? But happy to be back after a long hiatus of, I guess, 3 whole weeks. And everyone's asking, where's the live stream? Is it dead? Is it going away? No, just work. What's going on, Nick Miller? Glad you could make it. We're here to talk about comic books and some C2E2 action tonight. So now I'm just looking amongst my piles and piles of comic books, figure out where have I put my most current releases. First, I want to talk about Pope Grimy because he sent me an AOK a few weeks back, and I realized I have not had a chance to even make any type of video thanking him for his awesome AOK. And a while back, I remarked that I had not received or looked or seen a copy of Shredder in Hell #1. And there were actually 2 people in the community who sent me this book. So one was Comic Spectre. And if you guys watched my signature Sunday video yesterday, I actually got that Clayton Crane variant signed with him there. So if you guys want to see all the signatures I got from C2E2, link is down below to yesterday's video because I figured by the time I'm done showing these books, I won't even have time to get into signatures and that stuff. So Comic Spectre was nice enough to send that. But a few weeks later, I got the cover 1A. So I was very happy to receive that. So big thanks to Pope Grimy for sending me this Shredder in Hell #1, which I actually finally got around to reading. Wow, is this series really crazy so far? So I have like not tons of context on what's going on in the world of Ninja Turtles and IDW because I'm still trying to play as much catch up as possible. But apparently Shredder's been dead for quite a while, and we get to see his insane journey through hell, which involves a shoulder rat that is basically his version of Splinter in Hell, and then you get to see him fight demons that make themselves into Ninja Turtles and all that good stuff. So very fun read so far. And he also sent Batgirl #31, just an awesome art germ cover. More on him later. This thing called Exciting Comics, which I have no idea what this book is. I guess it's Action or Antarctic Press. So I don't get a lot of Antarctic Press and that type of stuff in my local shop here. So big thanks to sending this. And then I got a Captain America #6. Looks like an awesome Alex Ross Stanley tribute cover there. So once again, big thanks to Pope Grimy. After the show, I'll put his link down below so you guys can find him. So there's that. And as usual, before we get too crazy here, sorry, I got so many comic books of drawers falling apart. It's live. All right, there we go. It's been a minute, so I haven't had a chance to talk about any of the stuff I've actually picked up at my local shop. All right, there we go. Sorry, I just needed to see something on my phone there. So actually, I've been getting into these Walmart giant sizes again. This is Swamp Thing #2, and I gotta say I was a little bit disappointed just because on the first issue, which was really good, you had the creative team of Tim Seeley and Mike Perkins. And on this one, Mike Perkins is already off the art for some reason, even though it's like usually I have like 12 pages of actual new comic. So I'm not sure what was going on there, but it would have been nice to see Mike Perkins run until this thing is expired. So a little disappointed in that, but otherwise the story's not too bad. Good job from Seeley. Next up, looking forward to reading this one. This is Giant Size Superman #9. Just had to get it because you get to see the iconic Superman Flash race, and it's drawn by Andy Kubert. So can't beat that. Love some Andy Kubert action there. I haven't read this one yet, but we got Batman #9 as well. I think this was actually a Brian Bendis Batman story, so very interested to see that. Here's a good one. This is the Grim Knight one-shot from the Batman Who Laughs miniseries. So they talked about on Comic Core, like, not sure what they're thinking, putting a one-shot in a 4-issue miniseries, but hey, there you go. Yeah. So, but nonetheless, it's been fun so far. just going through the Batman Who Laughs. It's just Scott. You can tell Scott Snyder and Jock just having a lot of fun with this character that kind of exploded during Dark Knight's Metal. Because if you think about this book hard enough, it makes zero sense. But it is a lot of fun seeing this version of Batman. His parents gets killed, and what happens is Bruce Wayne actually picks up the gun and shoots Joe Chill right back. So you have literally, it says the origin of the most dangerous Dark Knight of all. So they tried to make it as advertised as possible. So really enjoyed that. Next up, we got Green Lantern #5. This one, you kind of get to see the undercover cop aspect of this comic. It's all along Grant Morrison saying, you know, he's basically space cop. And this one definitely is as advertised. You get to see Hal go undercover and infiltrate another organization. And on the last page, I guess kind of spoilers, you see him put in a position where he's going to have to make a choice to either break his cover or kill Adam Strange. So very interesting ending there. Here's my cover buy of last month. I got Catwoman #9. Just a cool art germ cover. Almost bought the foil of this on Saturday at C2E2, but unfortunately I could have bought every foil and ran out of money. I just picked two of which I will show coming up. Before I keep going, because I still got a stack, I do want to say hi to the people in the chat because I haven't had a chance to yet besides Nick Miller. By the way, I'm glad you're still here, Nick Miller. We got Prowler 671. How's it going, man? Says, let's do it. The Funky Cole Medina. Okay, whatever that means. And we got Sean Mitchell. That kind of looks like Stay Puft's little logo there, so maybe he's changed his name. So how's it going, Sean Mitchell? I saw this guy at C2E2 this week. We got Brandon Stawinski Comics. I wonder if he's put up a haul video yet. If so, I need to catch it. But I know he was going after one big buy, he told me at the con. So it was really cool seeing Brandon Stawinski among a lot of other people. And we got the architect. He's burning it down in the chat. We got Sam's Tangled Web. What is going on, man? We also have Brett Hessard. He says, what's good? Looks like you guys had a blast at C2E2. Yes, something like that. Oh, man. Whew. My head's still ringing a little bit. So trying to get all the marbles back together, I guess you could say. Next up, we got Jeff Comic 813. He says, what's going on? Happy to have him in the chat. And here's a guy I hung out with a lot this weekend. We got Comic Spectre. He says, what's good? Big shout out to Comic Spectre. He's one of the few people who's actually toured these convention floors with me, was actually able to keep up. We didn't, of course, none of us had that Discovery Bay like speed and reflexes, unfortunately, but still very cool spending almost basically an entire day with Comic Spectre, getting some books signed. Next up, we got Don Tomas, the Time Lord. He says, hello, who's your favorite villains? Besides the headache I got from this Saturday. Favorite villains, Joker, Sinestro, and the I guess currently the Batman Who Laughs. Some pretty good picks there. Next up, we got Dre Boogie. Says, hey, Seawood, how's it going, Dre Boogie? Glad you can make it into the chat. We got John's Comics with Kids, one of the hosts of tomorrow's Comic Core Unlimited, the wonderful B show for the Comic Core channel. Definitely check out their far superior and scheduled and figured out show. It's a wonderful 1 hour of YouTube. You can't go wrong. Sub those guys up. And it looks like I made it through at least once, so we'll keep going with the pulls. I got Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the Boom comic, issue 3. And this one continues to be pretty solid. This one wasn't as good as 1 and 2, though, but it was still a decent read. Definitely had all those Buffy-isms where you think something's going to turn out to be very evil, and it just turns out to be like a funny sidekick type character. It's like a big old dragon that basically Buffy kind of befriends because it's the vampire killing variety, so she instantly clicks with it. And not only that, it's probably the nicest cover yet because you get Spike and Cordelia, so you can't go wrong there. Speaking of beautiful art and covers, we got Blackbird issue 6. I'll be honest, I kind of fallen off the story on this quite a bit. Sounds like a lot of other people who have been reading this haven't been craziest about the Sam Humphrey story, but Jen Bartel, she continues to be the draw for this book. Her art is amazing. The colors are phenomenal. But yeah, I need to sit down and reread all of these, I think, to really get what's going on. The good news is I think after this issue, they're taking a break, kind of to give Jim Bartel a little bit of a rest in the art department. So give some time to catch up and to probably get that first trade out advertised. So that way people will be ready for issue 7. I see some questions in the chat, so I'm going to get back there. We got Sear Rhymes. He loves him some Buffy. Hey, I do too, man. My favorite show of all time. We got Don Thomas. He says, which did you like better, the Buffy the Vampire Slayer movie or the TV show? Hands down, the TV show. I can't be one of those guys who's like, oh, the movie made the whole continuity. They remade the TV show around it, so it's better. Blah, blah. No, the TV show, one of the best TV shows of all time, easily. All right, going back, we got Shredder in Hell, issue 2, and once again, going back to what I was talking about on issue 1, you get to see him fight tons of demon turtles and that stuff, and the only help he has is a rat named Splinter that's on his shoulder. So, and I actually got the Eastman cover on this, which I was very happy with because I couldn't find too many variants. And that was actually the only copy my shop got in on a Wednesday, so I might have to go ahead and put that on the pull list. Here's a book that hasn't disappointed yet. Prodigy issue 4. This thing is like an action movie put to the page. Mark Millar, I don't know, since it's Netflix still, he's really been killing it. I don't know if he just saved some of his ideas to help sell the Netflix stuff so they could kind of make money together or what. But between this and Magic Order, Mark Millar has been on fire so far, I think. I wasn't too crazy about Sharky, but I definitely see where he's going with the Sharky the Bounty Hunter book. You know, we're talking about at the Comic Core House this weekend about how it's, you know, basically kind of his version of Lobo outside of the DC continuity, obviously. So definitely hop on Prodigy if you like Mark Millar. I still haven't had a chance to read this whole thing, so I got to set it aside for the second video in a row. Farmhand number 6. Love me some Farmhand. Got it signed by Rob Guillory. So we'll put that on the side. Once again, I was getting ready to start reading it, and I realized what time it was, and shame on me. I have not read it yet. I did, however, finally get a chance to read Die number 4. This book continues to get, in my opinion, better with every single issue. This one, they kind of have to go to one of the main cities in Die, which is actually, the shield is shaped like a die itself. And they kind of all go in saying everything in here is too good to be true. And in a way it is, because they're kind of trapped there now. And the only way to get out, they have to go into 3 dungeons and get 3 keys. You guys kind of know how role-playing games work when you start to hear rules like that. So at the end, the Die crew, basically, they decide instead of playing the game, they just need to tear as much stuff down as far as Sam's Tangled Blood would say. They just need to burn it down. So it seems like a kind of friendly city. Our main crew is now like thinking of destroying the city. So very interesting read right there. And then the stuff I haven't read, so we'll just rapid fire it real quick so we can get into some C2E2 stories and the chat. We got Detective 999. I think 1000 comes out tomorrow finally, so I'll definitely have to check that out. But I wanted to get this John Byrne cover. Everyone keeps going crazy about Immortal Hulk 14 and 15, so I got 14 and 15 is somewhere in this pile, and there it is. Definitely getting the cover A's on all these. So there you go. Just decided to go and put that on my pull list. Otherwise, you can't find that book. Another one of my favorites, Young Justice. So hopefully this will be the issue that finally brings back my boy Connor Kent. That'll go in the read pile. Justice League 19. I guess there was some speculation on this book or something. So my shop, 1 week after it came out, had a couple copies. So I just grabbed one to see what it was like. We got Little Bird. I know Tacoma Comics has talked all about this book. And then we got the Donny Cates Venom. So that was the last of my normal pulls this week. So, like I said, among all the chaos at work and leaving for 5 days, going to C2E2 in Chicago, I haven't had a chance to actually read too much. So the comic collector's #1 problem, I guess. All right. Before we get into the half-price book stuff, because, hey, I can't stay away from half-price books either. I gotta get into the chat and see what's going on. We got Silver Age Dave. He says, what's going on, everyone? Always happy to see Silver Age Dave in the chat. Unfortunately, he was in Chicago and I missed him. Would have been cool at least shake his hand, say hi to him. But nonetheless, he had a whole live stream himself. this afternoon explaining why in the world he was at Chicago but not at C2E2. We got Bob World in the chat. What's going on, Bob World? Glad you can make it in just in time. All right, so with that, we got a few half-price books pulls to go, and I'll try to make them quick because they're just dollar bin finds. I got this series, and you let me know if you guys have read it or not. It's called Joe the Barbarian. I have never heard of this series, but I got the whole run of it. There's a few more in this pile. But the main reason I had to pick it up is it's a Grant Morrison written and Sean Murphy drawn series. And like I said, I have never heard of this book. I've never heard anyone say anything about it. After I saw these two names on it, I had to pick it up since they had all 8 issues. So there's like $1. I think there's 2 versions of number 1. One was like $1, and the other one is basically like the deluxe version. Kind of what they did with Barry and Brian K. Vaughan, I guess. Even though one was Image and one was Vertigo. So look forward to maybe one day making time for this one. But we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully that's a good one. Well, those coupons are expired. Got this cool Marco Cacchetto drawn Gamora #1. So I thought that looked nice. Figured I'd throw it in the pile. Here's one I'll probably give away eventually, but I can never leave this cover laying in a dollar bin. I got G.I. Joe 63, just a phenomenal Mike Zeck cover. So always like seeing this one. This one actually looks pretty nice, considering it was handled by dumb kids in the 80s. So that's the way I always look at stuff like that. Got some Ghosts, some Adam Hughes action. So thinking about a poor man's comics, couldn't leave this laying in the dollar bin, so I had to get that. Speaking of Adam Hughes, we got some Fairest. Slowly accumulating a Fairest collection there. So this is Fairest issue number 13. Just a cool Hughes cover there. And we got Fairest issue 15. So, and then the last issue of Joe the Barbarian. And, you know, what do you do after a con? Sometimes you kind of just kick back, make sure you don't buy any more comics. What do? I go to half-price books and buy more for some reason. Because, hey, it's $1 a piece. Why not? So, actually, I had some really good finds today, in my opinion. Haven't even taken it out of the bag yet, because that's what I do. Had this cool-looking Alien versus Predator #1. Got that for $1. Figured, why not? Love me some Alien versus Predator when the movie doesn't absolutely suck. Got this cool cover for America issue 7. Joe Quinones did a great job on America, so I decided why not pick that up. Got this full run. I think I'm only missing one of the B covers on it. But I got this Jeff Johns, Superman and the Legion of Superheroes. So you got Jeff Johns, you got Gary Frank. We all love to hate him now, I guess, because of Doomsday Clock. But for a while, he was actually able to go consistent and put out a comic once a month. So I got this full run minus one comic that was not a B cover. Yeah, 861, that was the A cover, but the rest of the run were B covers from that run. So I decided, why not pick him up, because you don't see the B covers from the pre-New 52 that much. And hey, it's Jeff Johns, Gary Frank. You can't go wrong there. Here's another one I pick up as crazily often as possible. We got Buffy issue 30. Of course, cool Adam Hughes cover. Probably easily the best cover in the whole run. And that's saying a lot, because Joe Chin, when she was on the book, all the covers were awesome. But this one probably takes the cake. This might be my third or fourth copy of this book as well. So if anyone's looking for one, I guess let me know. We have Curse Words #1. This one, I believe, is the Image blind box variant. So they had like this cover, the Virgin variant of this cover, which that's the one I got in my Image blind box way back when. And then there was a black and white with the title, and then a black and white Virgin. So yeah, they like to make it as confusing as possible. So there you go. Figured, why not get the A cover of the Image blind box variant for $1? And that was a mouthful. Oh, and by the way, do you guys like my newest addition to the commemorative cup collection? Cheers. Next up, we got Green Lantern 18. We got the black and white B cover. So I actually already have issue 20 of the black and whites. So every time I see a Green Lantern beat cover, I just pick it up anymore. So I thought that was cool. Here's another double for me, but for $1, I wasn't going to leave this one laying. So we got Incredible Hulk, $3.77. First appearance of Professor Hulk, I guess. So everyone's putting their chips down, their money down on this as a spec book. So I figured, why not pick one, another copy up for $1. And, yeah, oh, look at that. It's one of them newsstands. So there you go. Had to get the newsstand variant for $1. So I thought that was really cool. There you go. Here's a Jonathan Hickman I haven't had a chance to read yet, but I got a chance to meet this guy this weekend, and he is awesome. He's super cool. So I decided, why not go ahead, get the Manhattan Project's #1 for $1, even though it's a little dirty. I definitely picked it up for reader copy purposes. Amazing Spider-Man, $3.87. So still picking up some of these Spider-Mans in the 300s when you see them for $1. Direct. Here's one shot, the Comic Core chat. I just gave him an Adventures of Superman 500 as a gift this weekend when I saw him. So naturally, Comic Karma kicks in, and now I get the bagged edition for $1. So this is another one every single time I see it. I got to pick it up. So got a $1 copy still in the bag from 1993, 94, something like that. So extremely happy to actually giggle like a little girl in the store when I saw that. Got Spidey, $3.42. Another cool cover. Is this Bagley? Or it's Eric Larson. That's what I thought. So cool one from the Eric Larson run of art on that book I haven't had yet. This one's Bagley though. We got Spider-Man, $3.88. Woo! Nice 90s shiny goodness. Absolutely love it. And then the last 6, I have never seen these, never heard of these. I was actually going to look them up to see if there's anything cool about them. But I forgot to do that too. I actually took a nice nap today because I've needed naps ever since Saturday night. And you guys can go to the Comic Book channel if you want to scoop on all that insane stuff. But we got this whole series of, it's called Warp from First Comics. The reason I picked all these up, they have some cool Frank Bruner art going on them. So you get Warp #1. Just awesome Frank Bruner. Issue #2. Issue #3. Issue #4. So if you guys know anything at all about Warp, let me know because I'm curious. Issue 5. And then the last one in the bin was issue 6. I think they had a couple more Warps, but they weren't Frank Bruner, so it just passed because I already had that big old stack going on for the day. So it's the first time in a while I've been there and spent like more than $10 on a stack. So, whew, all right, let's see who we got in the chat now that I went over a giant stack of books. We got the Great Legend Show. What's going on, man? It says, miss you already, brother. Likewise, I miss you too. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to say bye. The legend, he had a flight to catch Sunday morning, and I still don't know where my farmhand #2. Hopefully, it went home with the Great Legends, my hope. But I took a farmhand #2 for Legend to sign, and we completely forgot all about it. And then I was like, I hope Legend at least took it with them. We got my first subscriber ever, Fish Tropic, in the chat. He's always doing emojis and stuff. So there you go. Since I don't want to chat and try to talk right now, there's my emojis, Wolfpack and thumbs up. Best I can offer. Sierra Rhymes throwing up a ghost. And a Shazam. Gotta love that. Bob World says he enjoyed the karaoke. I enjoyed the actual karaoke part, but the whole live... Actually, it's probably for the best it was streamed. That way, in case something did happen, it was on camera. So, yeah, that was super interesting to say the least. And, yeah. We got a Poor Man's Comics saying newsstand in the chat. What's going on, Poor Man's? There's another guy that was awesome to see this weekend. Definitely one of the highlights. It's meeting Poor Man's Comics at C2E2. That was awesome. Man, I'm getting a text. Sorry about that. He says Chicago knows how to do food right. Yeah, I think I hit my quota of gaining 10 pounds back after this trip at least. So Chinese food at 3 a.m. in Chinatown, actually really good. Maybe more on that in a little bit. Oh, boy. Oh, what a trip. Yeah, that's one thing we did skip is Italian beefs. Luckily, I caught one on the way up. It was kind of like cheating because I went to Portillo's instead of like Al's Beef in Chicago. So, yeah, at least I got to do that. Next up, we got Don, Mastodon Comics and Collecting. What's going on, Don? Hope you're having a great night. We got the Comic Noob joining into the chat. Comic Spectre says, got karaoke was off the chain. Thought the Triad were going to get us. Well, you're either with them or you're against them, Comic Spectre. So I think, luckily, unfortunately, now we're with them. So, yeah, sleep with one eye open, gripping your pillow tight. Anyway, before I get going into more story of C2E2, we're going to get into some dollar books I got at C2E2. Actually, these are $2 books. There's a great story around them because the reason I went to this booth is me and Legend, we had to meet another legend, and that's Jennifer Courtney, one of the best awesome interactions we had at the con. Legend and I got to meet Jennifer Courtney, who I guess if you guys don't know, way back when, like over a year ago on the Great Legend show, there were a couple people accused of being like shill bidders or non-existent. And I was one of them and Jennifer Courtney was the other. So it was pretty awesome to get in a photo op with the Great Legend and Jennifer Courtney so we could prove everybody is, you know, we're all real. There you go. We're real bidders with too many comic books. So there you go. So that was a lot of fun. So she hit me up on Instagram, so I knew where to find her. She was actually working a booth called Victory Comics. So I was kind of looking forward to see if she was there. Of course, I pick up some books because that's what I do. I picked up 2 Teen Titans comics. I actually got signed by Marv Wolfman. I showed those in my video yesterday. But I got a lot more nice books from them. So I got this awesome Phantom Stranger #1 from the 80s run, because why not? You get a cool Mike Mignola cover. Some Teen Titans issue 11. I think I'm missing this one out of my Teen Titans run as well. So I'm going to pick that up. I think that's the only other Titans that, yep. So the rest is the bronze and copper run of Phantom Stranger. So I got issue number 21. Some of these might be doubles for me. I'm not sure. But nonetheless, I couldn't resist getting a good run of this for $2 a pop. So there's 22. And they're all in really nice condition, too. 23. I'm just going to ignore that comment from Poor Man's right this second. 31. 32. Here's an awesome cover with Boston brand on it, number 33. So my goal is to get all these and actually read them, because the ones I've read so far are really good. So there's 34, 35, and then the last one I picked up was issue 37. So I need that 36 probably. So Jennifer, she knows I'm looking for good books, and she only had one other booth to recommend, so I ran right to it before I went and got Legend and Poor Man. And basically these people had $6 comics. It sounds kind of steep. Some of the stuff they had I thought was pretty well worth it. So here I got Convergence, issue 7, the 1 in 25, Amanda Connor. The guy actually had 15 on this, but for some reason he was selling it for 6. So I think Amanda Connor is going to Cincinnati Comic Expo. So this will probably have to be one I get signed. Just an awesome, like, when do you ever see Crypto and Catwoman together? So thought that was a really awesome cover. It's one of 2 good covers that actually came out of Convergence. Other than that, Convergence kind of just sucked. So there you go. Love that cover, so I had to get it. Got a Fantastic Four issue 54. Of course, it's a little beat up, but for $6, I'll take this all day. Just a phenomenal Fantastic Four issue and cover right there. King Kirby action all day. Shout out to JD. I know he'll love this one. I got Doctor Strange 183, so I'm still trying to complete a good chunk of this run as well. And for $6, that was easily worth it. And it's actually a pretty dang good condition, I think, for $6. Keep hearing rumblings about this book, so I decided why not go ahead and get it since it's in decent condition. Freedom Fighters #1. So I thought that was real nice to get picked up for $6. Ooh, we got Wonder Woman 181. Unfortunately, it's not another Hulk 181, but hey, still cool 181 to have at least. So I've been slowly getting into these Bronze Age or late Silver, early Bronze Age Wonder Woman books as well. So just another phenomenal cover right there. Hopefully everything's all right attached. It looks like it. So can't pass those up for $6. And it had some turtle books. Most of them I already had because I keep picking them up in lots and collections and stuff. But I did not have the Leonardo Micro Series, so I decided this might have been a little bit of a splurge. It's probably about a $5 or $6 book anyway. But figured, hey, why not? Just go ahead and get it because it's not. I don't see turtle books around here in the wild ever. So I figured, why not go ahead and get that? And then the last one, another double for me. I figured I'd just get it just in case anyone out there was still looking for this variant. But for $6, I got the Jenny Frizen Phoenix Resurrection. And you probably ask yourself, why didn't I get this signed at C2E2? Because I actually already have a signed copy I got last year. So I figured, why not just get a regular one instead? For some reason, like I said, they had $25 for Midtown, paid $6 for it. So those, I think that was actually like pretty much all the comics I bought at the show, because unfortunately, if you saw my signature video yesterday, my backpack's already pretty full. So I usually try not to get too crazy with con purchases because I feel like I'm a little spoiled around here living next to the half price books. And there's antique shops around here that sell like $3, $4 silver and Bronze Age. That I try to tone it back unless I'm looking for something very particular at these shows. Sorry, I'm trying not to cough everywhere. But as you guys know, when I go to these things, I got to collect me some original art. And that is exactly what I did. But first, I do want to shout out Evan from I actually got connected to him through that Splash Page Lounge or whatever they're calling it now, ran by Splash Page Comics. He had a dollar sale in there one day with GPAP. And for some reason, he decided to sell these all for $1 a piece. I have no idea why. I know he's like a Golden Age and, Platinum Age collector and that stuff, but he does like him some Turner and the J. Scott Campbell and that type of stuff. So he gave me this really cool J. Scott Campbell Aspen print from 03. So I thought that was really awesome. But, I mean, this, like I said, I don't know why he threw this in, but he did. Just a very awesome, Michael Turner mini print from Soulfire Dying of the Light. And it's actually signed by Turner and Steigerwald at the bottom. Number 249 to 250. So I haven't had a chance to show these yet. But this is definitely one of the coolest things that anyone has ever sent me, because I love me some Mike Turner. I've talked about him about every single video I've done. So I thought that was nice. And then in the back of there's this Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. I'm not sure of the artist on this one. But just another cool print. So these will probably be going on my wall at some point, wherever I could squeeze room. Before I get into the art, got to visit that chat because I think we've been discovered. We got Discovery Big Comics. He survived C2E2 this weekend somehow. It was a lot of fun following him and Comic Spectre around because it was each their first con. And he actually started a sketchbook of his own because I showed him mine. So I think if nothing else, if there's one thing I did at this show, it was awesome. It's kind of convincing him to start his own sketchbook because I could tell he was having a blast getting that thing filled up. And he got some awesome stuff in his book. So he's going to probably have a video at some point showing off what he got. But if not, he's already talked about it on his channel this morning. He's going to show a Lucio Perillo he got in his book for a very, very reasonable price. Probably the best priced good Perillo sketch I saw. Basically, I saw some of the Perillo stuff that was in the background that he'd already done. And you could tell that because Discovery Bay, he was passionate about what he wanted. He had a sketchbook. Perillo, he spiced it up a little bit for him. So big congratulations on starting your first sketchbook, JB. I know you're going to love it. Great Legend confirms we've been discovered. Let's see. Poor man says he doesn't overdo it at cons either. If you'd like to see what he doesn't overdo at cons, check out his 2-part C2E2 haul video where he gets like several long boxes of comic books, not overdoing it. So definitely check that out. Next up, we got Mr. Gretzky 9966. What's going on, man? Glad you can make it into the chat tonight. We also have, there's Joker68. How's it going, man? He says, the Vampirella print is a bookmark that went with the book and is signed by a director, I think. I may have another copy of the book, and I'll send it to you. Man. Joker68, he's one of the best. I hope he's feeling all right tonight. Joker, I did get your book sent out this afternoon, and hopefully you'll get them by Thursday. And definitely let me know if there's anything I need to do otherwise on that. Hopefully they'll find you all right. Next up, we got Chad90MF Comics. What's going on? He says, sounds like you're still recovering. You're not wrong. You're definitely not wrong. That's why I brought extra water for this one. Oh, man. Woo. It's been a minute since I've done one of these, hasn't it? We got Comics Misexplained in the chat. There's another guy I got to meet this weekend. He was at karaoke too. Glad we didn't leave him there. Somebody remembered to get him home. Sorry, I couldn't not say anything. But nonetheless, it was super cool seeing Comics Misexplained all weekend. I think he spent the night at the Comic Core House Saturday night. Thank goodness. Also, I think he's a member of the Triad now too, from what I've heard. So, like I said, everyone made it home safe, it sounds like, so that's great. Let's see. Count Von Strange the Fourth, another guy I got to meet at C2E2. It was very awesome getting a chance to meet him. Sounded like he at least got to meet George Perez after having to do a dead sprint to his line. So, there you go. And I think I am fine. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I got to see where my dragon tattoo got put. Thanks for reminding me, Comics Misexplained. All right. So some of the nicer, awesome things I got at the con. First, I got the Arthur Adams Convention Special for 2018. So I didn't have time to get anything like, a duel or anything from Arthur Adams. I want to make sure I got something off his table. So got this convention sketchbook, and he signed it on the inside right there. So thought that was very nice. And also shout out the great legend. He was with me when I was going through the whole Arthur Adams line, so he could meet Arthur Adams as well. So it was a lot of fun meeting creators with some of the other guys in the chat right now. So I got that. And I guess we could start with an AOK. So this was a really, really hilarious AOK from Drew Manchu. I don't know the name of the artist. I still need to get that information from him, but he gave me this. I've never laughed so hard in my life in the middle of a convention center. We got this, I think he says like a $10 or $20 sketch of Drew Gulak, my wrestler of choice in WWE 2K19. Definitely, this will be going on the wall behind me. I like to get it in my camera shot so everybody knows that Gulak is in the house. So there you go. Drew Gulak. Like, this is probably the only sketch of Drew Gulak in existence besides that one WWE comic, which actually this guy might have done the cover. It looks very familiar. There's like that Where's Waldo WWE comic cover. I wonder if that's the same artist, because the Drew Gulak looks super similar to that cover. So now I'm going to have to look that cover up and compare the two. So to see if I can identify this artist without having to ask Drew. But Drew Gulak sketch, man, that's oh, that's funny. All right, so okay, good. I put him up there. Next up, I got this beautiful Green Lantern from Joe Staton. So this is like one of my big goals for the show. Let's get a little something from Joe Staton because I do love his work from the 70s and from the early 80s. I was surprised he had no line at all any of the cons, so I was very surprised that he didn't have, more of anything going on at his booth. So I was able to walk right up, drop this off the next day, walk right up and get it back without having to wait behind one person either time. So I highly recommend meeting Joe Staton if he's going to a con near you. Him and his wife are super friendly. They're asking me who my favorite Green Lantern was and all that stuff once we started talking about Green Lantern, and I took my first Kilowog day at Science, so we started talking about Kilowog and that stuff. So it was a lot of fun, and he is, one of the best people I've met at these conventions. So there you go. Definitely, I'll put it on my little sketch cover spot over there. It'll probably be close to the floor, but it's going up next to my other sketch covers. Oh man, then they start to get real good. We got Daniel Dulitsky. Never heard of this artist before, C2E2, but I think one of my new goals for these type of shows is just to kind of go after more artists like this, because they'll crank out art very efficiently. Because one of my problems I'll talk about coming up here in a second is, and I have it quite often where I'll hand off my book and then I don't have it for most of the weekend, and I miss getting stuff like you guys are seeing now in that book. But nonetheless, here is Daniel Dulitsky's version of Michelangelo. Very, very awesome work here. I kind of wish, looking back, I had a few extra bucks to throw at the color, because he had, I think it was like $30 for color. I probably should have just did it. But honestly, I was kind of comparing some of his work on the Facebook sketch group, and I think this is maybe the way to go. But he did it. He cranked this out in like maybe an hour. So I was very impressed with, you know, the amount of good work you put into it in the limited amount of time. He's like the perfect person to do some sketchbook work, because he can do quality work and get you your book back so you can get it to the next person at a busy con. So absolutely happy with the way that one turned out. Next up, I got this Mike Garland piece. He is the colorist, I believe, for Leviathan. It's written by John Layman. And boy, he knocked it completely out of the park on this one. I think it cost me only $60 to get a sketch this caliber from that guy. So here's one. It's probably my top sketch recommendation. I mean, besides Daniel Dulitsky, he did a great job. He wasn't even in Artist Alley for some reason. This guy was though. But I mean, he killed it on this Raphael. So definitely, this looks probably going on the wall downstairs along with this one. So now I'm gonna have to set up a Ninja Turtle section downstairs in my living room, and then I'm gonna have to start a new turtle collection in the book, and I'll tell you why right now. So anyway, here is, as you guys followed my channel, you guys know this one's my baby. It's getting buried with me probably. I told JB Discovery Bay that. There we go. Come on, focus. Really? Even my camera can't handle the awesomeness of the sketchbook. Not this your guys' first time watching. This one's my baby. It's going to be buried with me. This goes to every con I go to. So I got one sketch in it for this weekend. And unfortunately, the bad news about it is it locked up my book till about the end of Saturday. So I didn't really have, after getting things like this and all the other stuff, I didn't have a lot of money to go through sketches on Sunday at that point. But nonetheless, the reason it was tied up all week is because I got this awesome Stephanie Hans Buffy the Vampire Slayer. So I had to get, if just the opportunity to get something from Stephanie Hans in this book, I could not pass up that opportunity. She's one of the best artists going today. Once again, surprisingly, is even though it was a sold-out Saturday con, I went on Friday morning, kind of got her while she was setting up her booth. I kind of waited until she had everything set up. And luckily, I was the first one to ask for a commission. So, and it was pretty reasonably priced too. She didn't charge hundreds of dollars for this, luckily. So I got this for an extremely reasonable price. And I thought it was only supposed to be a headshot, but I think she may have felt bad because the quality of pages in this aren't the thickest. So when she uses her watercolors, definitely needs to be set and flat and pressed and that stuff. So I think she was kind of describing to me and apologizing about the paper, and I'm just like, don't worry about it. I'm just happy with the sketch and the painting part of it, and I just could not be more thrilled with this piece and the way it turned out. So happy to at least get one sketch that's really awesome for the book this year. But yeah, if I ever do somehow fill up the rest of this, which I guess to compare, there's what I've got so far since 2006. And there's what I have to go. So the odds of me needing another book before the age of 40 is very minimal, I guess, unless I just start to get, you know, everything like this inside this book. So there we go. But like I said, I'm slowly going to try to get some more unknown artists just so I can get some more cool stuff located, because actually I have no wall space. I guess I go over a signature or two I collected in this book because I started getting this page it signed off on. So I got Mark Silvestri, Chris Mooneyham, who's the current Nightwing artist, so he drew a little Nightwing logo there. Let's see who else. And then I think the only one other person I got to sign the book this convention was Mark Silvestri. So I was happy to get Mark Silvestri's signature in there. He didn't hardly even have a line on Sunday. So I think a lot of these recaps have people saying, oh, it's a super busy convention. But the end of Sunday and the beginning of Friday, those are the peak times to go get this type of stuff done. Or as Legend would say, get your stuff in or something like that. I guess regrets in terms of people I didn't meet at C2E2. I would have loved to meet Eric Bischoff, Tony Schiavone, and Jim Cornette. But there's just too much money wrapped up in that right there because those guys weren't cheap. I think I'm probably going to go to a convention in Louisville that Cornette's been to every one of them. And you can walk right up to him in Louisville because he's from there and everyone there has already met him anyway. Whereas in Chicago, the Chicago way, he had a huge line. He was like $30 an autograph just to go say hi to him, and I didn't want to do that. So let's see what else is going on in the chat. Great Legend says Bela Lugosi was buried with his cape. Carson is going to be buried with a sketchbook, and all congratulations said newsstand. Oh, that's funny. That's a good idea though. All right, I know I saw Poor Man's Comics. Was excited about the sketch from Stephanie Hans. Once again, check out Poor Man's 2-part C2E2 video. He got 2 Stephanie Hans commissions inside her original published work. So that was really cool, man. Congratulations on that. Like I said, congratulations, Discovery Bay, on starting your sketchbook. He got like 5 or 6 sketches in that thing already. Like I was telling him in somebody else's chat yesterday, I hope his wife didn't kill him once he saw all this stuff he brought back from the con. So let's see what else we got. We got some AOKs from the house that the Comic Corps put together. So the first one I got me. So here's something awesome right here. I just kind of realized that I got figures from Catrin Figures. So that's very awesome. She got me this Venom and this Target exclusive Daredevil where he's in the yellow. So I'll definitely be putting these up on my little shelf up there. So big thanks, Cat Mark, for getting me these pops. As you guys notice, I don't have too many pops to go around, so I always appreciate anything like this I can get. So, and just having figures from Catrin Figures. I'm going to be saying that as often as I can when I look at those. Probably one of the coolest things. Still got to put it in a bag and board. I got this awesome program, and I think I meant to grab both of them, but sometimes when we leave something laying on the Comic Corps house table, it kind of just disappears somehow because it's not like I have my name on it or anything. So at least I got a copy for myself of the C2E2 program, so now I have still all of them running. And this one's signed by pretty much everyone who visited or stayed at the house. I think there's only a couple signatures I'm missing on it. Like, I don't think I ever got Great Legends autograph the whole time. So forgot to get that. Drew Manchu, I think he was charging $5 a sig or something. I didn't see him, but I at least got Pocan Joe, JD, Huey C. Onyx, Spectacular Spider Grandpa, Mr. White Glove Splash Page signed it, Mark BKR, JP from All About Comics got his signature on it. I got Cat's signature on it right there. Poor Man's Comics signed in gold. So I'm glad there was a gold Sharpie floating around. I think that's Chad because he signs with his baseball number. Comic Spectre got him to sign it. Discovery Bay, JB, and then Comics Misexplained. So very happy. See what check the back. Legend signs the gold label. Now, oh, wait a minute. Oh, you're right. I didn't even realize that. So Legend only signs on the gold parts. So I'm glad someone said that. So thanks. I was just like, man, I didn't get anything signed by the Great Legend, but oh, that's awesome. I had no idea what that was. I legit had zero idea that was there until now. So that makes me extremely happy. So got it signed on the back. Definitely be going at a bag and board after this. And also, I don't want to mess with it now because so far it seems like you guys are hearing me pretty well. Chad from Comic Corps got me the snowball mic, so I don't sound like I'm yelling down a tunnel anymore, hopefully. So hopefully you guys notice a little bit of improvement in the audio of this show. So very happy that, Chad got me this microphone so I can continue to make improvements for you guys out there so I don't sound stupid and amateur. I slightly sound less amateur, I should say. I'm still an amateur, obviously, because I have no idea how to edit, squat, or do anything like that, which I thought about using this time to learn how to do some of it because I still have a day or two off of work, but I just keep napping because Saturday night's karaoke. All right. And I think I just saw one of the people who saw my book pop up in the chat. We got JP from All About Comics. What's going on, JP? Glad to meet you this weekend, and hopefully we can get on some shows together soon again. And we got the Contender in the chat. What is going on, Contender? Always got to throw up the boxing glove I don't have on for Contender. All right. Still going through a stack of exclusives. We got this dark red, #1. Big thanks to Comic Spectre for buying this for me when I was in somebody else's line. But I actually forgot I was going to get this on by Tim Seeley. I always forget to go by Tim Seeley's table for some reason at this thing. So nonetheless, I was happy that Comic Spectre remembered to grab this comic because I forgot, but paid him back, and that was all good. I stopped by, Graffiti Designs, I think, got me some foils. And I'll let you guys vote if I need to take these bust-ass, foil bags off or leave them on so it's, complete or whatever. But nonetheless, I got this Harley Quinn 59 Derek Chew cover. I would have liked to get this signed, but Derek Chew being so close to Art Germ the whole time, which Art Germ, he was the second biggest draw artist-wise. I think he basically had to go through his line to beat Derek Chew, and I wasn't going to do that again. But, yeah, I might have to take that inside bag off because it's in a Mylar. It looks good, but that bag, those cheap poly bag they put it on. So Comics Misexplained saying, leave it on because of fingerprints. Brandon Stonesy says, I totally forgot about the free handouts. I was so wrapped up in hunting and signing. Comic Spectre says, only bust them out of the factory bag if you're sticking it in a Mylar. Yeah, it's already in a Mylar, so it's double bagged, basically. So, yeah, I'll keep thinking about it. I think this might have been their best cover. The Young Justice #3 B cover foiled. So I think this one will look really good without that stupid poly outside because it's in the Mylar. But I just like the way, if you look at it right, the colors pop just right with all the background colors and everything. Whereas this one, it looks all right, but I think it's just printed a little bit too dark. Just something I kind of noticed when me and Comic Spectre were hanging out at the Clayton Crane line. And I think he was buying some foils, and Clayton Crane's like, man, this looks really cool, except it's too dark from the way it printed. So I agree with him. And I think my next one, I think it was whoever, if someone's in the chat that gave this to me, let me know. I think Midwest Comic Man Paul's the one who gave this one to me, if I remember right. Sorry, it was pretty chaotic when we all got to the house, which I'll tell that story in a second. But I got this G.I. Joe Issue 1, this phenomenal J. Scott Campbell cover. This is actually one of my favorite reads. This is a third copy of this one for me, but I'm happy to have it because I have a signed copy, reprint copy, and now an unsigned A cover. So absolutely happy to have that back in the collection. But yeah, nonetheless, when I first arrived at the house, I arrived a little bit later in the day because I thought for some reason we weren't getting the house till 4 o'clock Thursday. Apparently we got at noon on Thursday, so everyone showed up at early in the morning and at noon and stuff. So I was actually one of the last people there, even though I'm only 4 hours away. So I get there, I don't even know if I have the, because we're not in the best neighborhood, if that makes sense, for this Airbnb. So I get there, I knock on the door, and the door just opens. It's just the force you put knocking, it just creaks open. I'm like, this is the address. So I kind of just make my way in, and there's not a soul in this house. At least it sounds like. So the first floor is just completely empty. There's no, there's a Christmas tree there for some reason. So I felt like I traveled back 2 months ago to December. I had no idea what was going on. So I hear little rumblings upstairs. I'm like, I'll just go in the stairwell and peek my head up and see what in the world's going on up there. So I start going up the stairwell, and who in the world do I see? But here comes Beanie and All, the Great Legend, right around the corner. Oh my God, did I have a mark out moment for the Great Legend. And then I get to meet everybody one at a time in a stairwell. So that was a lot of fun and a very crazy experience. And then I start getting handed books like this. So very, very fun first meeting. All right, so we'll keep going with the books, telling stories at the same time. So another AOK I got, hopefully still here so I can think. We got a Poor Man's Comics give me an AOK. So if you guys watched his channel, you probably saw I gave him 2 wizards. They were exactly the same, but they're Adam Hughes covers, and he hoards them. So I knew, you know, I wasn't the biggest Adam Hughes guy growing up, so I just gave him my Adam Hughes wizards that I had. So he said, in trade, I'm going to give you this. And I know this is a good book for him to have, too. He got off JP All About Comics auction, which you guys hadn't checked out his auction. He's got some great stuff and some great sellers, too, from what I've heard. But nonetheless, he gave me this one because I griefed him about it a long time ago. And the whole story behind this book is it's the obviously it's the first race between Flash and Superman. And I've kind of always wanted this book, I'll be honest. But there was one auction that JP was on, and he was selling this book. And I think this is right around the time Poor Man's actually he gave me another AOK back, if I remember right, something like that. So I saw Poor Man's was bidding on this book. And I was like, oh, man, I can't bid against Poor Man's. He just gave me some cool books. So I let Poor Man's win this way back in the day. And then later I gave him something. But then I think I said something like, hey, man, are you interested in maybe selling or trading for that Superman 199? He's like, nope, that's all mine. You didn't bid on it. It's mine. It's all mine. So anyways, I just kind of let it go, forget about it. It'd be cool to have that book or something. So about a month back, I was like, yeah, I'll give you those wizards. And he's just like, oh, that'd be pretty cool, man. I'll give you something back. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but I think you're going to like it. So we meet up at the con finally, and I'm just like, here's your wizard, here's your goofy wizards that are like, 50-cent dollar books, but they're priceless to him. And then he pulls this out and gives it to me because that's the type of guy PMC is. But yeah, definitely one of the best. So very happy to have this. Love the story behind this book, so I had to tell it. And then when we were filming Comic Core or whatever chaos we did Friday night, Poor Man's found like 6 copies of this one, so we just started giving them away to the room. So I'm never one to turn down a free comic book, which I'll show you those 2 in a second. But I got this cool Venom annual #1, and it looks like it's a Bill Sienkiewicz variant. So very happy with these 2. So big thanks to a Poor Man's Comics for that. This is actually going on my wall downstairs because I got to have it on the wall downstairs. All right. So before I said, this is going to be a long show tonight, guys. I still got post C2E2 books to show. But we'll go back in the chat because we still got people hopping in here. I think I saw a person named Google. How's it going, man? He says, dope NW Wolfpack t-shirt. Yep, that's right. Remember, it's for life. So there you go. Put your little cameras or fingers up to the camera or phone if you want. All right, let's see. All About Comics. JP says, my fanboy moment is Derek Chu filled me on Instagram. That's cool, man. I didn't realize that. That's awesome. My other fanboy moment, I haven't even talked about it yet, is when me, Chad from the Comic Core, and Chuckload of Comics, we got to interview Art Germ. Like, that's something I never thought I'd do. So hopefully Chuck will have that video up at some point. I need to put his link in the description below too, because the whole Comic Core needs to have a big, huge thank you to Chuckload of Comics. He had one of the most phenomenal booth setups I've ever seen at a con, and he had just a great location right behind Artist Alley at this con. So he had all kinds of awesome interviews that he's actually. We were actually lucky enough to be at least part of one of those interviews and use his booth to do some Comic Core shenanigans on Friday. So that was a lot of fun being part of that. And we got in the show early enough on Saturday because of the Art Germ interview. We're actually able to pretty seamlessly meet George Perez. So big thanks for that, Chuck. That was awesome. Let's see. Yep, Comics Display agrees that was the perfect booth spot. We got Tacoma Comics hanging out in the chat. He says, I am here, so there's that. How's it going, man? Heard he had a short box signed by JP, so can't wait to see what all those guys got signing that stuff. And we have in the chat Chuckload of Comics. He says, you got it, dude. So big thanks and thumbs up once again, Chuck. Definitely, if you guys are in this chat and for some reason haven't subbed up Chuck Loaded Comics, I can't recommend his stuff enough. He just crossed 1,000 subscribers. So you guys got to make sure you got to keep track of the C2E2 coverage he put out because he had a lot of great interviews. Luckily, I was walking by his booth like, oh, cool, there's DMC. So I'll snap a picture and then he'll bump into Lloyd Kaufman from Troma. So Chuck definitely had a lot of awesome action going on this weekend. All right, so we'll show a couple more books here. Oh, yeah, I haven't even shown the freebies I got yet from the con. So my tip to the guys I went with is if you need to go from point A to point B in the con, you go through DC Comics, you go through Marvel Comics. So if I have to go from like Artist Alley to Chuckload's booth, you take a big long detour and you go through Marvel and you go through DC because Marvel, they weren't too bad on the freebies and stuff. Probably the coolest thing I got was this. I am not even going to attempt to unfold it and show it on the live stream because it's pretty huge. This Avengers Infinity War poster. So I'll probably give that to my nephews so they can hang in their room or something like that. So got this whole stack. I actually put some together to give away, and I'm sending one to Joker 68. I think Spidey fan needs the program, so I just loaded him up with freebies too to see if he wants those. But nonetheless, here's a sampling of freebies I got from DC and Marvel. So I got this like 4th print of Mr. Miracle. Thought that was really cool. Shazam Special Edition. Actually got a few of these. Luckily, I gave one to the Great Legend because I know he loves him some Shazam. Got Batman White Knight. Actually didn't get this on Batman Day, so I was happy to get it there. They had these all weekend, so I tried to load up on these a little bit. It's a reprint of Sandman #1. One of the best comics ever. So I figured why not get the 30th anniversary reprint. They're handing them out for free. These are kind of interesting. Like they had a couple little ash cans there. One was this Mira Tidebreaker Special Edition. I think it's supposed to be like a bigger children's book later down the line. So I thought this was really cool to have. I got this from Joshua Hickson. I still need to put it in a bagging board and read it, actually. The Blackwood. So I was telling him how much I liked Shanghai Red, and he actually threw this in for free. I don't know if he's supposed to be charging for these or not, but he's just like, dude, you seem cool. Here you go. So I definitely wasn't going to argue with that. I only saw this book handed out one time total at DC, and I made a lot of trips through DC. So this might have been their freebie to get. It's a Batman #1 reprint of the Snyder Capullo run, and it actually is designed so you can cut out the mask. So maybe one day I'll get Splash Page live on here and cut out the cover of this. I know he'd love that. So I thought that was super cool. Here's the other ash can I got called Super Sun Special Edition. Looks like another upcoming like kids graphic novel or something like that maybe. So there's that. Got another Mira Tidebreaker, so I actually ended up with another extra of these, and just various previews that they threw out at Marvel. And then they had this Jinx World from Brian Michael Bendis. I think this actually collects 3 full issues of the Jinx World #1s. So I thought that was pretty cool. All right, so try to prevent all that from sliding around. Put that down there. Oh, here's a random thing I got the other day. Here's an eBay auction one. I still need to put this on a bag and board, but as you can see there in the lighting, it's actually kind of more jacked up than I thought. I got this G.I. Joe Renegade edition, number 21. Actually, it's not a reprint. It's a just a B cover for G.I. Joe from the Image run, but just an awesome Michael Turner cover, even though it's kind of jacked up. Happy to have that. Sorry, I hadn't showed that one either. Had to. I do want to get back into the chat one more time, and I'm going to rapid fire a few post C2E2 books and then say thanks to everybody one more time. Let's see who else we got. We got Chuck Loaded Comics says, way more coming, including the Art Germ interview featuring the Comic Core. Yeah, I definitely can't. Hopefully, Chuck, you were happy with the way that interview went. I know I was a little starstruck, but I think it went pretty well. Hopefully, you agree. We got Chad from the Comic Core, so once again, big thanks to Chad. Hopefully, you're hearing the audio upgrade. That's all thanks to Chad. He gave me the Snowball mic that made a cameo appearance in the Baltimore edition of Comic Core. So definitely happy to have any type of technical upgrades for the show for you guys. We got Evan. He's in the chat. Big thanks to Evan. He kept my feet warm all weekend. I took my Superman socks with me. So got to thank Evan for the free socks that he threw in with my dollar haul stuff. So, and I showed off your prints finally, Evan. So big thanks for those Turner and Campbell mini prints. Comic Spectre, Comic Core Chad, they're talking about how much we all miss each other. Yeah, it's pretty true. The Thursday through Sunday, man, like that'll be an experience none of us will ever forget. I'm pretty sure we can easily say that. If you guys would like more coverage on what in the world happened this weekend, check out the Comic Core channel. Because I think I'm done talking and thinking about the karaoke and how we survived. All I know is I told y'all weekend we needed to go to Chinatown, and we did, and it was awesome. And I told you the food was going to be awesome. But even at 3 a.m. in the morning, sure I had to teach a few people how to eat ramen the right way. JD, if you're watching this, you know what I'm talking about. Apparently, I taught a whole restaurant how to eat ramen at 3 a.m. in the morning. So that happened. That was pretty cool. The food was really good. So I wish I knew the name of that place so I could go there again next time I'm up in Chicago. But there is a place in Chinatown that is open 24/7 and is really good. I need to find out what that restaurant was. So if anyone knows the name of that restaurant, hit me up. We got Bad Dad 320 says he's just dropping by for a visit. Always like Bad Dad's channel. He's got some of the best awesome books you've ever seen. Oh, there's Drew Manchu. How's it going, man? Once again, big thanks to Drew Manchu for the Drew Gulak sketch. He says, Shy Cafe. Thank you, Drew. Actually, we should probably all thank Drew, the people who survived to make that last trip. Apparently, Drew, according to Tony Sanders, because if you guys are familiar with the term brownout from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, I was kind of in that brownout mode between the end of karaoke and the beginning of the food experience at 3 a.m. Because I remember teaching people how to eat ramen, and I remember Chad getting like 2 crave cases for some reason. So, yeah, that was hopefully Chad's still eating White Castle today. I think he, I hope he checked the White Castle crave case on the plane so he could sit there and eat White Castles on the way back to Pittsburgh. So at least that's what happened in my imagination. We got the big dog, Roman Curtis. What's going on, man? Yes, the WCW hat did make it home Saturday before the insanity started. I put it in my luggage so I wouldn't forget it. Thank goodness. I miss Jeff G. How's it going, Jeff G? Glad you could make it into the chat. All right. Let's see. What else? Oh, yeah, I got some antique shop finds. Hadn't had a chance to show off yet. So I got this big treasury edition of Close Encounters of the Third Kind. It's a Whitman. I don't know if Whitman printed this or if it's Whitman variant. But nonetheless, I try to get these treasuries every time I see them because they're super cool to have. And I only paid like $3 for it, so I figured why not? And then with that, a little bit more than I wanted to pay. I think it was like $8 or $10, but Nightmare on Elm Street magazine. There's a Marvel magazine. And it's just an awesome cover. I believe Joe Jushko, if I remember right, did the cover. And on the back cover, I didn't bag and board it yet because I want to show you guys this awesome Sam Keith back cover. So I thought that was really awesome. So it was one of the coolest magazines I've seen. And then even on the inside, there is like a Bob Hall interior cover that's absolutely amazing too. So I would buy as many of these as possible if I saw them. So I didn't even know these things existed until I saw them in antique shop. So I'll definitely be seeing if I can hunt down more of these Nightmare on Elm Street magazines or anything else like that. Had a couple eBay hauls when I came back. So a little disappointed in this one, I gotta be honest. I realized earlier this afternoon the main reason I bought this lot, the book is missing a chunk out of the side, so we'll get back to that in a second. But I'm pretty sure a decent amount of these X-Men's from the Copper Age I was missing out of the collection. So I got X-Men 237, and a lot of these, they're newsstands. So there you go, 238. Some of these are doubles I'll probably be selling off at some point. 239, 242. See what else we got. 236. Sorry, they're a little out of order, guys. 235. It's a shame I couldn't have gotten some of these before the show. Probably would have had to try to collect a few more Mark Silvestri signatures. But like I said, my backpack was full enough most of the weekend. Got 243. Next one, as you guys could probably guess, this is one of the main reasons I was buying a lot, but I didn't realize the book was in this condition until like maybe an hour before I went live. But nonetheless, still cool to have. I got an X-Men 244, first appearance of Jubilee. One of the minor keys I was missing out of this run, but as you guys might notice, there's a little bit of the cover missing along the edge there, so I was super disappointed in that. And then that top is just kind of a filthy mess. So unfortunately, this is probably like the crummiest book in the whole lot, and I was really hoping to be the best book in the whole lot. But oh well, still pretty happy to have that. 245, that one's a double for me, so I'll be selling that at some point. Got 246. Yeah, I forgot that Repug Liefeld cover. Actually, this is probably an upgrade for me. Got X-Men 250. The other one I have is kind of beat. 249. At least there's this good one in the lot. And I should have said, I probably paid like $2 a piece for these. So like I said, I'm not too heartbroken with the condition of some of them. But especially this one, just first Jim Lee on X-Men. So happy to have that one. It's the second copy for me. 247 newsstand. There you go. 251 iconic cover, but a double for me. So if anyone needs that, let me know. 252. 253. And I think I still needed this cover too. 254 homage to Giant Size. So gotta love that. And then I got one last haul. And then, oh my God, we're finally done. Gotta learn how to pick it up. All right, so I do want to get back into the chat one more time before we show the last haul. Looks like everyone's kind of leaving in droves now because I've been spouting my mouth for an hour and 10 minutes. Comic Express says, good night, everyone. Bouncing out this evening. Got to sort through piles of books that came in the mail while we're at C2E2. Have a great night. Big thanks once again to Israel. He was one of my favorite people to hang around with all weekend. Like I said, he was pretty much my wingman all of Friday when I was getting all this stuff signed for myself and Joker 68. So big thanks, Comic Spectre, for following me around and seeing what Friday experiences is like for me. I should have had him film and document, and in that way I can make a documentary on how terrible Friday can be or how awesome a Friday can be for me. And Great Legend agrees he is a great wingman. You know who else is a great wingman? The Great Legend. So we got to meet, I think me and Legend met Arthur Adams together, Marv Wolfman, and a couple other creators, and then Jennifer Courtney too. So that was a lot of fun. Let's see. I think Poor Man's had to go too. Have a good night, Poor Man's. And it looks like Evan got Roman Curtis some books. So that's going to be some fun right there. By the way, I should have shouted out Roman Curtis. He just started today a 100 subscriber contest. So if you guys like to participate in the subscriber contest, definitely check out the big dog Roman Curtis, because he just crossed 100 subs. And now Legend's putting a lot of one-liners in the chat. Farmhand, Roman. I love it. All right, so the last haul. Once again, some doubles for me, but these are actually some phenomenal upgrades for me because I just got this. There's one reason I got this lot. It's a book I already had, but I figured for the price, I may as well get another one because I like the book so much. Oh, yeah, we met Rob Guillory together, Legend. That's right, Guillory. How can I forget to tell that story? So I wanted to meet Rob Guillory, but I was not going to meet Guillory alone. I knew I had to take the Great Legend with me for that trip. So we definitely, I just wanted to get a chance to see Great Legend, meet one of his current heroes, Rob Guillory, for making Farmhands. So I got to see, this whole interaction between the two Robs, Rob of Great Legend fame and Rob Guillory, and they talked about Farmhand #2. So another phenomenal convention experience, not only for me, but for the Great Legend as well. Unfortunately, we forgot to get a picture of the Great Legend and Guillory together because we're both kind of marking out over Farmhand. Oh, and the cat is here. Also, we got the Big Lion Cat 646 in the chat. Did he bring Lenny with him? It sounds like he did, so that's awesome. Meow. All right, so to my final haul. So I got This stack of books, I think I paid $3 a book. So I'll let you guys tell me if it's worth $3 a book. Once again, I apologize. They're going to be a little bit out of order, but everything's kind of out of order right now. And actually, you know what? Before I do that, I forgot about one more stack of books I got right before the con. I'm going to save those for next week because those are really nice. I actually did get these for like $6 a pop, too. I got Swamp Thing #4. Cool Bernie Wrightson. Swamp Thing #6. Then Swamp Thing #5. All minty, beautiful covers. If I graded books, I would send those off today. But I don't care that much about grading, so they will probably stay in the collection for a minute. But the eBay haul I got, $3 a pop. Green Lantern, 68. Awesome Gil Kane cover. And as you can see, I mean, there's a couple ticks on this one, but Silver Age Green Lantern, I don't see too much. I just now saw that part right there. That kind of sucks, but still nice. I think this is the first Denny O'Neil in Green Lantern, if I remember right. Green Lantern 63. At least got like one paid stamp, so somebody stamped it. But other than that, it's real nice. Got a nice looking copy of Green Lantern #62. This one might be new for me. This one's definitely new for me. I got Green Lantern issue 55. Like I said, just another beautiful copy. Look how nice these copies are. For $3, I could not believe how awesome of condition these were. I can't remember if I had this one or not, but I know it wasn't in this good condition. I had Green Lantern 49. First appearance of the Dazzler. Always reminds me of the Dazzler, Daniel Bryan. Green Lantern 46. Got a little bit of a ding down there at the bottom, but other than that, another beautiful copy. Got issue 70. More Denny O'Neil, if I remember right. Just a little bit of a crease there, but other than that, it's nice. 71. I think unfortunately, I got a lot of these ones in the 70s, and with the exception of the one that really counts, 76. So I might try to sell a few of these doubles to put toward a Green Lantern 76 eventually. Beautiful Gil Kane cover on issue number 73. One of his best covers from this run, in my opinion. So there you go. 74. Number 75. And unfortunately, I cannot say 76 is next. I really need that book. One of the main reasons I bought this lot, I needed this one right here. Issue 89. And actually, it's kind of funny. I knew this was waiting on my porch at C2E2. And then I saw a Comic Swiss Explained, buy a copy of this and gift it to the great legend. So I was like, I just got that book too. I can't wait to see it. So happy with this book. I will be putting all these into those beautiful Mylar bags, by the way. Got a Green Lantern issue 88. Another iconic cover for me. I just love seeing Alan Scott and Hal Jordan on the same cover in the Bronze Age. So very cool issue there. The main reason I just pulled the trigger on this is one of those instances where you just search like Comic Lot and you refresh, and then a lot like this pops up for $75. Buy it now. And you're just like, what the hell is this lot? Like, why is it that price shipped? So this one, obviously, it's not as good as the one I've got graded. I debate if the cover's even attached. It's probably slightly attached looking at it. Like I said, these were waiting on the porch. I haven't really got them out of the looked at them too much. But I got another first appearance of John Stewart. So I was just like, well, this is pretty much worth the price of the whole lot by itself. So like I said, I probably have to really take this out of the bag once I get my counter cleaned off here, take a good look at it, see what this book's really like. But just besides looking at the staples on the side, and I would almost guess that this top staple may or may not be, if it's not detached, it's just barely hanging on. Bottom one looks pretty good, but nonetheless, still a great book to have in the collection. So I figured, why not have two books in the collection? Because like I said, some of these are doubles for me, some are first time. This one I'd probably be selling for sure. I got Green Lantern 86. I'm pretty sure my other copy of 86 is probably very fine and near mint. This one kind of has that same problem with staples like on the other one, as you can see on that corner there. Not the best, but if anyone's looking for it, let me know. Got an 84. I think this one will be an upgrade for me. 83. So you had to get these Neil Adams ones in better condition. 77. That's definitely an upgrade for me, though. 78. Full Black Canary. Upgrade of 79. This one I'd probably be sold eventually. I already got a good copy of 80. Then 81. And the last one I have is an upgrade for issue 82. And this, I think, is finally my last book. So when you don't have one of these for 3 weeks and then come back from the biggest con you go to of the year, I guess you kind of go 90 minutes just about. So got to go through the chat one more time. Then we'll have final plugs. And I'll get out of your hair because now I'm tired again. We still got Big Lion Cat in chat saying hi to everybody. I believe that. There he is. I saw Midwest Comic Man Paul, another guy I got a chance to meet at the con and spend some time with him and his wife, and they were awesome. So nice seeing you guys, Paul. It was just nice seeing everybody. I mean, I don't even know if I could. I'm gonna try to think of most everyone I met. So obviously the whole Comic Core. So you had Cat and Mark, Catron Figures. You had Chad, Comic Core master himself. You had Big Legend or Great Legend. Oh my God! See, this is what happens. You go 90 minutes, you start slipping on people's names. The Great Legend Show, the Great Legend Show. Met him. That was we were roommates, so that was pretty awesome. Of course, Paul, the entire Blasted or Stash crew. So you had Drew Manchu, Spectacular Spider Grandpa, Huey C. Onyx, Pocan Joe, and then, like I said, it's Spider Grandpa, man. That guy was awesome. He had Comics Just Explained. He spent a lot of time at the house. JD, he is dressed as Paste Pot Pete at the convention, which he killed it on his cosplay, so that was pretty awesome. I met Gills 311. I haven't mentioned him yet. I don't know if he was an exhibitor at a booth or if he's just hanging around this booth a lot. But I got to meet and spend a minute with Gills. He was showing me his Jim Cornette signature, so that was super cool to get to see him. Of course, I got to meet JP All About Comics. Bumped into him at the Stephanie Hans table set up in the morning. So that was cool. Of course, like I said, my wingman for most of the convention, Comic Spectre. It's pretty much that whole Friday together. JB Discovery Bay Comics, so our house got discovered, so that was really awesome. Just seeing that guy, just seeing a guy start his first ever sketchbook and go wild and get 5 or 6 sketches, a lot of them color. Like I said, I hope his wife doesn't kill him when he kind of shows off his haul, because he had a phenomenal haul, in my opinion. Just in that sketchbook alone, he got stuff on top of that. And also, I should say, Kat, she got some really nice sketches too. If you guys like the artwork I showed off tonight, definitely follow those two because they got some good stuff too. And hopefully, and of course, like I said, Poor Man's Comics, Jennifer Courtney, she was very awesome. Very enjoyed meeting her. Just getting that picture of me, Jennifer, and Legend. That was one of my favorite con experiences, hands down. It's just the finality of that whole story. Finally, it was awesome. And hopefully. Oh, and Count Von Strange, of course, we bumped into him almost every single day. And of course, big thanks once again to Chuck from Chuck Loaded Comics and his wife Shauna for more or less hosting the Comic Core and getting us through that door early on even Thursday. So Chuck got us in on Thursday because we were helping him raise his stage basically. And it was the first time, because I've been to every C2E2, it's the first time I've been able to get in a day early. Of course, we didn't really do anything to take advantage of it or bother any of the artists because they were all busy and everything. But it was just cool seeing the whole process and seeing how things got set up. So that was definitely another experience for me I'll never forget. And there was another YouTuber, or not, he was not even a YouTuber. He's just the guy who casually watches the show from Illinois. It was really cool talking to him. He was sharing pictures from his X-Men collection, that stuff. So just cool to meet all of the community. And go through that. So, man, like I said, this has been one of the best convention experiences. Oh, everyone keeps putting their experiences in the chat. I got to talk about too because I was there. So, Paul pointed out we went to the hotel bar area and ate dinner that Thursday night, and we were like a stone's throw away from Mark Silvestri at his table. So that was really cool, seeing Mark Silvestri basically all 4 days. Because I got to meet him on Sunday as well. But yeah, we ate lunch right next to Mark Silvestri and the people he went with. So that was really crazy and awesome. And then Drew Manchu, saw Kenny Omega in the parking lot when he was taking a smoke break. So if there were more smokers in the group, they all would have saw Kenny Omega and, you know, throw the too sweet up to him at that point. So just even that Thursday, it was going nuts. And we got Thomas Churchill in the chat. How's it going, Thomas Churchill? Just saw your name pop up there. And since we're at about 90 minutes, I should just go ahead and cut this off. I guess last plugs. Big Lion Cat says, are you going to be the New York Warriors auction night? Yeah, I'll probably attend the auction. Try not to bid on too much because, as you can see, I spent a lot of money this weekend. So, you know, unfortunately, these things ain't free, but they're really awesome. So, I may actually have to get a frame for this one because this guy killed it. So, I spent my money on stuff like this, but I'll probably at least pop in the auction, say hi, and all that good stuff. But actually, another thing that was set up over Chinese food, I still need to contact. Apparently, Tony Sanders and I will have a TBD show on the Comicore channel, so stay tuned for details on that. We set up a show over karaoke and Chinese food, so I can't wait to see what Tony wants to come up with for a new show idea. I have a couple ideas spinning around in my head. I got to message him still to see if he likes any of them, so stay tuned for that. Signature Sundays. Still doing that stuff. If you look at the link down below, I actually put up my C2E2 signatures because I know this is going to be kind of a bigger episode because I haven't done one of these in 3 weeks. And I figured I may as well just incorporate that into the signature series show so we can count on the signature tally, which is a lot higher than I figured it would be at this point. So check that out if you like signatures. I really appreciate the response I had on that video. So thank you guys for that. A lot of awesome comments and thumbs up already on that video. And this tomorrow night, I believe, is Comicore Unlimited, 10 p.m. Eastern, right after Lords of the Long Box at 9 p.m. Eastern. So 2 great shows tomorrow night there. And then Friday night is the ultimate C2E2 wrap-up. Probably after this show, we won't be talking about it for a little while because it's been every video C2E2 on everybody's channel. But we're going to have one more summary video of C2E2 this Friday, 10 p.m. Eastern on the Comicore channel. You actually kind of know what's going to happen on the Comicore this week. Rumor has it we're going to have as many people there as possible from the house, like the Blaster Stash It people might show up. The Comicore Unlimited people may show up to that show. We may have our new member there. I think that's official. The JB Discovery Bay Comics is a part of that show. We'll see. Hopefully that's official finally. So can't wait to see that. And next Tuesday, hopefully 7:30 p.m. Eastern. I haven't checked my work schedule yet, so I probably should have before I plugged it. But stay tuned for another one of these live streams. Hopefully it won't go an hour and a half like this one. But with that all being said, I'm really thirsty. Does this guy Sting? He followed me from here to Chicago and back. He loves the rafters up there, man. This guy loves rafters. You know, but we'll go ahead and keep the tape machines rolling. Man, playing Borderlands 2. That's awesome, man. I need to re-download that. But anyway, Sting's in the rafters. The NWO music just hit. They're getting ready to come out. The tape machines are rolling.